Welcome, Magnus here. In today's video, we're going to talk about the R1 specifications that were leaked by Canon Rumors. Now, they seem to be pretty legit, but I released a video. My last video was actually based on what I thought the Canon R1 specifications would be. Let's see how right I was. And I'm just going to put the video down here and I'm going to react to my own specifications, how close I was, and did I have any inside information? I'll tell you no, but I'll tell you why I speculated. But without further ado, here we go. Let's hit play and see what happens.
Megapixels and maybe not so much. I honestly think it's not going to have that many megapixels. It's not going to do 8K video.
So one of the first predictions I said was the Canon R1, which is Canon's flagship camera in the mirrorless landscape, was going to have less than 35 megapixels. There was a lot of speculation on it was going to be like 65 megapixels or something like that. But according to Canon Rumors, the megapixels is going to be 30 megapixels. So I was pretty close. Why did I guess so few megapixels when compared to like other cameras? Well, Canon's flagship series, including the 1DX Mark III and before that, has always been a lower megapixel count. That way the camera can be faster and actually output what's necessary. And that's what you really need. You need a fast camera, and a high megapixel count isn't necessary for these type of cameras. So there you go. Let's continue watching.
Honestly, I believe, except it might introduce potentially a global shutter, kind of competing with that A9 Mark III. Maybe. And if it doesn't have a global shutter, it's still going to be a very, very fast readout speed. They're going to...
Okay, so I said maybe, but in my comments I said, in my text I said probably not. And I said it's going to be a very fast readout speed. Now, according to what it's been leaked on the Canon Rumors website, it's a 0.8 microsecond read time. So it's not a global shutter. It's got a rolling shutter, but it's so fast, it's ridiculous. That's what I've heard, things that it was not going to be a global shutter in the past, and I knew they wanted to potentially keep that dynamic range, but the fact that it's this fast makes almost no concern over the fact that it's not a global shutter because it's that fast, which is really interesting. And how did I know that? Well, again, I put together the context clues. Let's move on.
Fast readout speed, it's going to be able to sync with really insanely fast shutter speeds with a good flash sync. The video, it's going to record.
So I said incredibly fast flash sync. Now, according to the rumors, it's a 1 to 1,250th of a second flash sync time. That's much faster than what is normally customary for a rolling shutter camera. Now, when you think of A9 Mark III, it's got 1/80,000th of a flash sync. Is it really that necessary to be that fast? Who knows? Potentially. But the fact that you've got a rolling shutter that can go that fast, it really can take care of a lot of scenarios. So I think it's pretty good. Let's keep watching. I'm not doing too bad in this predictions.
What's really going to be next level is going to be some of the features in this camera. I think that their autofocus is going to be next level.
I said next level AI autofocus. Again, I did not have any inside information, but according to the rumors, it said high-speed autofocus and exposure enhanced by AI recognition. So this one I got right on the money. Now, when it comes to that, the reason I made that assumption is because a lot of technology is using the advantages of AI to improve different functionality in a bunch of electronics. So why wouldn't you incorporate that in something that does need some sort of intelligence, such as autofocus? So that's why I made that assumption, and turns out I'm pretty close. Let's move on.
There's going to be some sort of AI learning incorporated into this flagship, and if we're lucky, a new menu system that...
According to the rumors, no new menu system has been actually shared or whatever, but a new menu system actually would be pretty cool.
Communication, broadbands, maybe some interface with social media websites. That could be a real game changer.
Interface with photo sharing sites, again, I hoped, But even in this comment, I put nah, because I really don't see it happening.
It's gonna do maybe 6K at 60 or 120 frames.
So now this comment, I said it's gonna do 6K, maybe at 60 or 120 frames per second. It's doing 6.7K at 60, and the 120 frames per second is reserved for 4.2K. So whether that's cropped or not, I wasn't really particularly sure, but it's still pretty fast. And I'm assuming that'll still be full frame, but probably pixel binned, or maybe oversampling. I don't know. It's the high-end camera, so you want to do as good as possible. But 6.7K, 60 frames per second. I said it in the audio, but I was really hoping for 120 frames per second, 6K, to push it really next level, because you're not getting anything more than a 4K 120 in most cameras. So let's go.
This per second video, which would be really nice, and it's going to be raw video, raw slow motion video, which will be pretty nice.
Now, I did say raw slow motion video, which other cameras do have. This will do 60 frames per second raw slow motion, not 120. Now, that's really all I mentioned about the R1. Now, the specs itself that were rumored, if you haven't seen it anywhere else, at least when it comes to video related stuff, it's gonna do raw video, and it's gonna have C-Log 2 and C-Log 3, which is amazing. Again, 4.2K at 120 frames per second, and 6.7K up to 60 frames per second. It's got a lot of great photo taking features, which is the main purpose of the camera. But how did I get all of these assumptions right? Well, it was kind of like how I started that video before. I look at history, I look at the past, what the camera means and what they wanted to do, and then really just try to guess on what assumptions I would make with some of the features. But it still hasn't been announced, and I'm sure it'll be announced coming soon. And when it does happen, I'm going to give you my comments right here on this channel. So stay subscribed if you want to see more of that stuff. And as always, you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. See you next time.